Today's story is about a young man, his golden goose, and how his kindness brought him good luck. As we go through the story, see if you can spot the sequencing words used in the beginning, middle, and end. Let's start the story. Once upon a time, a man had 3 sons. The youngest son was called Dumpling. Everyone laughed at him because they thought he was very foolish. One day, the eldest son wanted to go into the forest to cut wood. Before he left, his mother gave him a sweet cake and a bottle of wine. When he entered the forest, he met a little gray man. He asked him for a piece of cake and a drink of wine. But the greedy eldest son answered, "If I give it to you, I will have nothing for myself," and walked away. Soon after, he began to cut down a tree. Suddenly, his axe slipped and hurt his arm. He had to return home immediately. Next, the second son went into the forest. His mother gave him a cake and wine too. In the same way, the little gray man met him and asked for some food. The second son also said no. As a result, his punishment was quick. As soon as he hit the tree, his axe slipped and hurt his leg. He had to be carried home. Then Dumpling said, "Father, let me go and cut wood." His father replied, "Your brothers already hurt themselves, so stay home." But Dumpling begged for a long time. At last, his father said, "Go then." His mother gave him only a plain cake and grape juice. When Dumpling came to the forest, the little gray man met him too. Dumpling said, "I only have plain cake and grape juice, but let's sit down and eat together." As they sat down, the cake suddenly turned into a sweet cake, and the grape juice became delicious wine. After they finished eating, the little man said, "Because you have a good heart, I will give you good luck. Cut down that old tree, and you will find something at the roots." Dumpling cut the tree. When it fell, he saw a goose with feathers of pure gold sitting in the roots. He lifted the goose up and went to an inn to stay the night. The innkeeper had 3 daughters. They saw the golden goose and wanted a feather. First, the eldest daughter came quietly. As soon as she touched the goose's wing, her hand got stuck to it. Shortly afterwards, the second sister came to get a feather. But the moment she touched her sister, she got stuck too. Finally, the third daughter arrived. The others screamed, "Keep away!" but she did not understand. She ran to them and immediately she got stuck to her sisters. They had to spend the whole night stuck together. The next morning, Dumpling took the goose under his arm and walked away. He did not care about the 3 girls hanging behind him. While they were walking through the fields, the local priest met them. He tried to pull the youngest girl away, but as soon as he touched her, he got stuck too and had to run behind them. Before long, the church helper saw the priest running behind the 3 girls. He ran to stop the priest and grabbed his sleeve. Instantly, he was stuck. Later, 2 farmers came from the fields with their tools. They tried to help, but the moment they touched the helper, they got stuck too. Now, there were 7 people running behind Dumpling and his goose. Eventually, they arrived in a city where the king's daughter was always serious. No one could make her laugh. The king promised that whoever made her laugh could marry her. When the princess saw the 7 people running one behind the other, she began to laugh out loud and could not stop. Dumpling asked to marry her, but the king did not want him, so the king made a new rule. Dumpling must find a man who could drink a whole cellar of wine. Dumpling went back to the forest. This time, he found a very sad man. The man said, "I am so thirsty, and water doesn't help me." Dumpling led him to the king's cellar. Then the man drank and drank until, by the end of the day, all the wine barrels were empty. Next, the king made a second rule. Dumpling must find a man who could eat a whole mountain of bread. Dumpling went back to the forest. There he found a man who said, "I'm so hungry, my stomach feels completely empty." Dumpling brought him to the palace. The king baked a giant mountain of bread. The man began to eat, and by the end of the day, the whole mountain had been eaten. Finally, the king demanded a ship that could sail on land and water. Dumpling went into the forest and found the little gray man again. The man said, "Because you shared your food with me, I will give you the ship." When the king saw the magical ship sailing on the grass, he could no longer say no. At last, the wedding was celebrated. Dumpling became king and lived happily with his wife for a very long time. The end. Thanks for watching. Want to understand the grammar from this story? Watch the grammar lesson, or continue with your next story.